Diane, I'm holding in my hands Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me on 4K UHD from the Criterion Collection. Now, previously, Criterion has released this on Blu-ray, as we know, and because I already owned the movie on other Blu-ray formats, which we'll get to, I never picked it up. But now that it's on 4K, I had to give it a shot. So this release, along with this release, include the same 2014 scan done with David Lynch's approval. There's a few small differences, and we're going to get into that. I don't have this on VHS or DVD, unfortunately, or we'd be looking at those today as well. A few years ago, they updated this to a Criterion Collection Blu-ray. It got its own release here. Of course, this is the one with the 4K, but it's basically the same release, just with a 4K version of the movie. The only special features that this had, that these two releases didn't have, was 2 new interviews with Sheryl Lee and Angelo Badalamenti. For a lot of people, that wasn't enough to justify buying that set, myself included, but I've recently been going through and buying all of Lynch's movies on 4K. I've done videos on Mulholland Drive, Lost Highway. I even did one comparing the 4K discs with this set, which as of right now is the only way to own anything other than Fire Walk With Me Twin Peaks related in 4K. So let's take a look at this thing. Criterion has been doing these style of digipacks for a while. It slides at the side. Oops. All of the Lynch-related releases have come with like a nice thick little booklet that has segments from this Lynch on Lynch book that came out. Really great interviews, honestly, that I read in the Lost Highway and Mulholland Drive one. So I'm really stoked to get a hold of Blue Velvet as well and read through this, because I haven't read through this one yet. You can see the discs and the inside there. Pretty nice printing and stuff. I like this style of packaging, and I don't. You know what I mean? This cardboard stuff is very easy to damage like this. Before we take a look at this side-by-side comparison, I do want to remind you that you are not watching this on my 4K TV or my 4K player, and they've been compressed to do this comparison. So take them with a grain of salt, you know. Alright, so here we are. This is the side-by-side comparison we have with the Criterion Blu-ray and the Criterion 4K. So the reason I chose these two is because they all use the same scans. I have 3 copies of this movie on Blu-ray now. The Criterion one, which came with the 4K, the version that came with From Z to A, and the entire mystery version. All of them are the same scans, but the Criterion ones used a different compression and stuff. And as you can see here, there are some subtle color differences in these, so let's get into it. This is a very beautiful movie to begin with. Chet Desmond, what a character. Alright, you can see the subtle differences here. I will say, if we're just going off of these first 2 images right off the bat, 4K takes it. His skin tone looks way more natural there, I think, personally. Now again, you can tell these come from the same scan because they're lined up very well. And the color differences are definitely something that's subtle enough that you're not going to notice without looking at an actual side-by-side like this, I think. I don't even think there's a big difference in the blacks here, you know? Look how dark the color is, and it matches pretty well there, I think. We're not super far into this video, but my biggest takeaway so far is that the skin tones look better in the 4K. Now, if you watch this on a big enough TV, you're going to definitely notice that little bit of extra clarity. All the film grain is there in these scans. What I will say is this does not add HDR. This movie does not feature HDR in any way, so that is something to note. David Lynch wasn't alive to supervise that, and it didn't happen, so... Now again, some people are going to look at this image and think, what difference are you talking about? But it's wildly different to me. And I think the 4K takes it, man. Sometimes when I do these comparisons, because they lose the HDR, they look a little bit darker. Because Blu-rays were often, you know, brightened up during their scans, they often look brighter. We're not even seeing that here. So something like this, like I see virtually no difference. The only difference you're going to notice is in clarity when you actually have it on a 4K TV and stuff. Again, as we skim through this, I love Kiefer Sutherland. I love the character he plays in this film. Like, look at that. Look how much more pink her top looks. You know what I mean? It actually looks significantly better. And when I was taking these scans, I was thinking, because they were the same scan, source, you know, wise, and these are both Criterion versions, like, I didn't think I was going to notice this many differences. And the reason I chose these 2 scans is because I think a lot of people do already have this Criterion version, and are wondering, do I need to get the 4K of this? Is it worth it? And that all depends. Do you think the scan upgrade is worth it? Because there's no new special features. It's not even a new scan, actually, so it's just a 4K version of the same scan. But to me, you know, I have all of David Lynch's stuff on DVD, and I've been recently upgrading it to 4K, skipping over Blu-ray, because most of them come with a Blu-ray version of the same scan. And this was definitely worth it, because I already owned it in some other sets, but I haven't outright bought Fire Walk With Me by itself. I mean, for no HDR, I think it fucking looks great, you know? Like, that's a beautiful shot, man, come on. Again, skin tone's the real key if you're looking at this. Blu-ray just is a little too warm for my taste. And what a great scene and a great role from David Bowie. Not in there long, but left such a lasting impact. Again, not, you know what I mean? Borderline no difference. No noticeable differences here. I mean, you can, the subtlety there between the dirt, the brown is just a slightly different shade of brown, you know what I mean? But the 4K surprisingly pops really well. So here's the thing, if you haven't bought the Criterion version of this at all yet, I definitely think it's worth picking up the 4K. If you're someone who already bought the Blu-ray, maybe if you sell it and use that money towards it, it'd be worth it. But other than that, I mean, look at what you're getting here. Virtually the same thing. What are huge color differences to some are not at all important to others, so you'll have to tell me how you guys feel about this. I mean, to me, there is no question that 4K looks great. And if you're new to this channel, you may think I'm like, I don't know, dick writing 4K here, but I'm absolutely not, because I would say more often than not, I side with the Blu-ray looking the best. And a lot of people commenting side with the DVDs. But I gotta say, I loved this 4K. And even just looking at these, I'm like, yeah, it's clear. Glorious shots, man. It's such a beautiful movie. It's a fucked up nightmare of a movie, but... And I can't even put my finger on it here, but there's something extra going on with the 4K that I like. And I don't know, maybe it is just that subtle color difference. Because see, this one, I don't know which I like better. Looks fucking great either way, though. And this stuff, watching this on a big 4K TV in the middle of the day, like it looked like reality. It's crazy. It looks like it was shot yesterday. It's beautiful. Look at that. That Blu-ray disc, there's just something about it. It's just like a tiny step off. And the 4K looks perfect, man. I feel like a shill right now, but this is normally not my thing, you know what I mean? Looks so good. God, it's such a just terrifying movie, man. It kind of works for October, too. Normally, I'd just be talking about horror movies right now, but this just came out, and we gotta do it, you know? And I would say it's a horror movie for sure. Now, I haven't talked a lot about the audio on this. I've seen a lot of people saying it has the same issues that the Criterion Blu-ray has, where there's a certain dropout of audio during a scene. While watching, I didn't really notice that, but I think this is... the way these movies are done and the sound is done is very intentional, and it's very weird on purpose. So who knows what the fuck is going on with that? Whether it's like actually intentional or not. I haven't looked enough into it to really give you full thoughts on it, but there is another subtle difference I noticed in these releases. So David Lynch was never big on chapter markers. He hated them. Not only were there not chapter selections on his DVDs and releases, if you hit skip, like skip to the next scene, it would just bring you back to the menu because it's one long scene. The entire mystery set lets you skip. They added scene markers in there. But the Criterion release does not have that. Just something to note. Again, I'm not noticing like anything. Even the skin tone is almost the same here. It's those same subtle differences I was talking about before, but if you have the Blu-ray Criterion, you don't necessarily need to upgrade unless you're just like me and you want to be a 4K completist, a David Lynch superfan, a nerd, you know. But if you don't have any of the Fire Walk With Me Criterion releases, I'd say it's worth an upgrade. Laura Palmer. Yeah, look at that. Very subtle, huh? It is just such a gorgeous movie. I'm glad I picked this up, to be honest. Really glad. Let me know which version you think looks better, and if you like this video, be sure to check out this one and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.